We acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, First Nations people of Canberra, their elders, past, present and emerging.
We also acknowledge the Tongan High Commissioner to Australia, Her Royal Highness Princess Latufuipeka te Ko'aho. We acknowledge all community leaders of other Pacific Island nations here in Australia and to the leaders of the Australian people here. Welcome to Ask Marvie, a program that we have decided to put on, first one being last week. And Marvie had different issues that she had talked about, that she will be talking about in the next few programs. So we only have this program until the end of the year, and then Marvie will be back next year. So next week, tune in, feel free to tune in because we have a special Christmas program. Here with me, of course, is Marvie Priscilla Halaevalu Astle. And she introduced herself last week. She's 11, she's at primary school, has 2 brothers, mum and dad, and she lives here in Canberra. Now today, Marvie, she has decided to talk about
Recycling.
So recycling where? Just normal recycling or recycling at home only or?
Recycling worldwide.
Worldwide. So not just at home, but recycle, and in a family, but recycle maybe in the community. We'll touch on that. We'll also touch on what maybe Australians do to recycle. It's a big topic, recycling, and lots of people have been talking about it. And because recycling is absolutely great for our environment. So without further ado, I'll just get Marvie to talk to you a little bit about how recycling happens in your family. What do you do?
So in our household, we have a box for recycling, which we just put outside like normal Canberrans do. We also collect...
What goes in it?
Plastic, which is so just reusable products that they could, so maybe milk cartons, egg cartons, strawberry, blueberry and raspberry punnets.
Oh, those plastic containers that you buy your fruit in. Yeah, so I guess any plastic containers that come with your groceries?
Yes.
And what else? Paper,
sometimes.
Yeah.
There are different types of recycling. So there, at my school, we have one recycling for clean paper and the other for paper that can be recycled but not
clean.
Yeah.
So, because I know they make lots of different products from recycled paper, and our family, I know we use, dare I say, bathroom toilet paper comes from recycled paper.
Yes, it does.
Yes. So what else? I know that there's other things that you recycle. So apart from recycling things that can go back into maybe an agency that looks after recycled products or things that you collect, what other things can you recycle at home? Say peels, potato peels or vegetable peels that can be put in a
compost bin.
In a compost, ready for your garden. So mostly, nearly everything that you use can be recyclable. What's your pet project for recycling at the moment?
So we have just found out that on the back of a bottle, plastic bottles usually, or glass bottles, there's a 10-cent sign. So we were saving up lots and lots of bottles to get money and for it to go into a better place where it's not just floating around.
Yes. So, you've got photos up there. That's you and your 2 brothers.
Yes.
With a bag full of what? What's in that bag?
We've got aluminium cans. We've got juice poppers. We've got...
Also, juice poppers also can be recycled.
Yes.
At this centre.
Yes.
Yeah. And this centre is the recycling centre here in Canberra. And you've got a bag full of stuff that you've been collecting all week. So you've got popper containers or fruit box containers.
Yeah.
You've also got cans, aluminium cans from drinks, What else did you have gotten there? Glass bottles?
Yeah, we've got glass bottles, but they didn't allow wine bottles.
No, so I guess it's only the bottles. Oh, there you are. There you go. So you're in there, and so you have to clean it. Is that?
Yes, the
What's
man
that?
cleaned it because stuff from the bottles would fall out. So
Oh, your little brother is very busy there. So it goes onto that thing,
yes,
and then it goes down to a place where
it's like a vacuum cleaner. It's like an arch vacuum cleaner, and it sucks it up into different spaces.
I see. So you just put it on there and it sorts it out.
Yeah.
It's really clever, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and each one has a value. So a can is 10 cents.
All of them do.
Oh, no, 10 cents. So you've got a bag full of stuff there. And how much
Money
did you get?
We got $6.20.
Oh, nothing to put your nose up at. That's a lot for just picking up and putting together into a plastic bag all the things that you use at home. And you get money. And I know your mum told me a story of a man who supervisor here, his son, has been doing this for a year or 2 years.
2 years.
And he's made,
$1,500
there you go, people, you
Out
got
of-
enough money.
getting cans.
Out of nothing, out of just collecting, looking in your rubbish.
We also went door to door asking people for he gave them a little pamphlet and was saying what they do, and then gave them a little bit of money of what he was doing. Gave them like 10% of what he was doing. So he would have had a lot more money if he didn't do that, but it was a very kind thing to do.
Yes, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to go knocking door to door or asking people to give you stuff. Because I know even in our household, there's 2 of us in our house, but we actually make a lot of rubbish or a lot of things that can be recycled. Because we always have our recycling bin is full every fortnight. So maybe I can start doing that, or maybe I can put it aside for people like yourself who is busily recycling so that you can make some money out of that. And I think that's why it's so important for people that you can put a little bit of effort into sorting out your rubbish or the things that you can use, because there's money. There's money in there. Look at that. $6 in one go. $6 for rubbish that would have gone in the rubbish. But not rubbish, you made money out of rubbish. And I know that's one type to recycle. I was also interested in, there are shops that sell goods made out of products that people throw away, and not only that, but when you have clothes that you no longer need, people give them up to certain places, like maybe St. Vincent's de Paul, Smith's Family, or other people like that, and they actually sort it out and sell it, and that's recycling in a way, and it's a fabulous place to shop. Do you like shopping in an op
Yes,
shop, opportunity shop as we call it here in Australia?
I love it because you can find lots of little treasures that are so cheap and that's so valuable at the same time.
Yes, and people have spoken about finding treasures in places like this that are worth a lot of money. So what sort of things do you buy usually from an op shop?
I usually go there if I want to make like a costume. A costume out. So one year I like to do Cruella de Vil. That's somebody from a Disney movie, 101 Dalmatians, and I found this really nice silk sort of throw.
Oh.
It was red and it was really nice. It was only $2, so
$2, and yet if you had to buy that,
be
it'd be a lot of money. That's clever thinking, Marvie. So you made yourself a wonderful costume for your dress up from an op shop. $2 versus, and I did that a lot when my children were growing up. When your father was a little boy, and when they had dress up at school, that's where I headed to the op shop, and because you can buy fabric, you can buy buttons, you can buy belts, you can buy all sorts of things to make costumes. You can buy things, like clothing that's quite old, but it can be made into costumes. And lots of people do that. I think it's a big thing amongst high school college and university students going into op shops and shopping. And I was talking to someone who said, I don't even go shopping for clothes in normal shops. I firstly go to an op shop. When I can't find it in an op shop, then I go and look for it normal shopping, because she prefers to save money. What a clever thing to do. I like saving money. So we're talking about op shopping. What else? What other things again we find, in recycling stuff?
Well, my brother, the one there with the paisley top, he has these green shoes from Nike. The soles of them are made out of recycled bottles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Nike is using recycled bottles, like you mean glass or plastic bottles?
Plastic bottles.
To make this
Soles
for their shoes. I like listening to that. I like hearing that big companies like Nike, and we pay a lot of money for Nike shoes, are thinking about recycling, and they're doing that. I remember watching a documentary. It was a place in Asia somewhere, and the drink bottles, plastic bottles, they have a machine that tears it up into tiny threads, and then they use that to weave and make bags, which they sell to places like New York, and they sell it for a lot of money. So, clever ideas like that. And if you have a clever idea, maybe you can put that into, try and plan it out properly and see what you can make out of things that are recycled. I just remembered something else. There was a program in one of the islands in the Pacific, and you know how things get washed up on the beach all the time? Well, what this man did, all the thongs, flip-flops, or slipper as we call them in Tonga, all the things that wash up on the beaches, he would collect, and his wife would cut them up, remake them into ornaments. And it was so clever, because our people are so clever at revamping or changing something into something else, And that was all it was. Instead of throwing that and making more rubbish on the beaches, he collected these. And I was quite surprised at how many thongs do wash up on beaches, And also that just gave me the idea, Marvie, that when you go to the beach, please don't throw rubbish. Do not throw it in the sea, because when you throw rubbish in the sea, what happens?
The sea animals think it's food.
Yes, but they can't ingest it, so they end up dying because it gets caught in their throat. Even things like fishing lines get caught around the necks of our beautiful sea animals. And as you said, plastic bags, they ingest it and it gets caught in their throat and they die. So if you throw something into the ocean, think about who lives in the ocean. It's like someone who comes to your house with a bag of rubbish and says, here, I don't need it anymore, and throws it in your house. Not nice, is it? Have a little think about when you're out there fishing or when you're out at the sea or at the beach. Don't throw your rubbish down there. Take it to a bin. Otherwise they'll come and throw rubbish in your house. That won't be nice. I remember you, I just wanted you to cast your mind back. When you were in Tonga, and I know you're a little person, but what did you remember about maybe saying rubbish and recycling?
In our whole front yard where we stayed, it was just mountains of rubbish because people would throw it there.
Because it was an empty section?
Yeah.
People tend to think that empty sections are rubbish dumps. And I know that affected you. You didn't like that because it was, even though it wasn't part of our property, but we could see it. And we could see people actually coming and throwing their rubbish in there. And I remember you and Wolf used to try and work out how to stop them.
Yeah.
How to stop people.
We'd have little pieces of paper and draw sort of contraptions that would spray water in there at them and make them not
throw rubbish
anymore.
on your front yard.
And I remember me and Wolfie making a sign saying, "Do not throw rubbish in this area."
Did it work?
I was like, no. I think it blew away with the wind within 3 seconds, but it was.
But that's such a good thing to talk about. Is we can recycle a lot of rubbish, and I know in Tonga they do have a recycling
facility.
So, and I don't know how much recycling they do, because in a little island especially, they have a lot of problems trying to rubbish, because there's only so much land. You can't bury all the rubbish that a whole nation builds up. So maybe that's one thing that they can think about of more recycling. But talk about recycling. Sometimes we think that don't mind our rubbish. And I remember there was a program about Africa, and what Australia does is send a lot of stuff over there to be dumped because there's no room here. And this, even though we pay, but these countries don't have the facility or the ability to get rid of that rubbish. Even clothing. Bags and bags of clothing go to waste in Africa. They don't know what to do with it. There's nowhere to leave it. So you just see all these bags and bags of stuff rotting away. So that may be something for countries to think about, big countries to think about. It's just like how we live in this world. Nobody wants your rubbish. You need to figure out a way of how to utilize it or make use of it or to put it away properly. What do you think?
I think that's a great statement.
Great statement. What ideas, what other ideas would you have about how to look after our rubbish or recycle our rubbish?
I think people they have plastic products and they have the intention of putting it in the bin, but it's just a little bit too far away. So, my auntie and uncle have this place called Upcycle.
Yes.
Had this place called Upcycle, and everything was reused.
Okay.
They made bags out of plastic bags. They made sort of
Right.
like carry bags.
Yes.
They also made bowls out of coconuts.
Yes,
So they had a
yes.
mold.
Yes.
And they just had lots of things. And out the front they had 6 bins, just so you could
come and throw and then they will use it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I know that they have, your uncle and aunt have a wonderful candle business, and they put the candles in
wine and beer bottles.
Yes, wine and beer bottles, which your grandpa cuts up and cleans and polishes, and they're the most beautiful. We should have brought one of those candles here, just to show you what the wonderful products that can be made out of recyclable material. That's right. That's a great thing to bring up, because I know even at home in Tonga, they do make things out of coconut products. Not as much as what they used to in the past, because they used to make furniture, in the past out of coconut product. Coconut is a wonderful thing. And I know in the last program we were saying, if you have any comments, paper running, is that recyclable paper?
Sure is.
Well, there's I think you've got a couple of questions before we finish, Marvie. There's a couple of comments in there for you to maybe think about before we finish, because I think we're really getting to the end of the program. So can you read out what one of those questions?
So this was from my mother.
Yep.
From the last program, because she really enjoyed watching it. So I'm just going to read it out. So she had a few questions that she left in the comment box. Why do you think it is important to find a hobby or activity that you love? Okay, so I think that it's important to just do something that you love, not something that, not that you have to do everything that somebody else loves that you don't personally like. And it's fun to just be yourself, and you might just find a hobby that you didn't even know existed or didn't even know that you'd like.
Yeah, true.
And the next one is, what is the benefit of this for a young person? So, for this whole thing, Ask Marvie, it's just to ask questions that you're curious about to somebody that might be your age, might be a little bit younger or older, but just so you can get somebody's perspective on it.
Absolutely, Marvie, and I think it's really important for us to have a conversation, with younger people, because then we know exactly what is important to them. We don't know. We'll just make up I know that Marvie, I reckon she'll like this. Why not just ask Marvie? What do you think about music, Marvie? What sort of music do you like? What sort of fashion do you like? What do you think about recycling, as in our topic today? You need to ask people, and in this program we're trying to encourage, our multimedia programs is to encourage people to have dialogue, to have discussion, to get thoughts out of your beautiful brain so that people can hear and know what's important to you. And maybe someone will say, I never thought to do that. That's a great idea. Because that's what I love documentaries, because it gives me ideas. And I watch and I think, is that what they do? Is that what they do in the Ukraine? Or is that what they do in Africa? Or is that what they do maybe in the north of Russia? I love peeping and looking at what people are doing. So I know there's a lot of people that are interested in what you do. Can you give us I know we've got Christmas next week, Christmas program next Saturday, and I think it'll be a nice surprise for people to see what you're preparing. I'm not going to say, because I think it'll be a nice surprise, but have you felt today talking about what is important to you?
I think it's nice to sort of say your feelings and what your thoughts on different topics.
Yeah, and it's good also if, maybe next year when you start programming, you're going to bring in some young people to chat to, and I can pop over to the side there. So, having said that, I think our time is up, Marvie. It's a Saturday morning here in Canberra, and it's a beautiful day. So if you're out and about, enjoy yourself, do it safely, look after yourself, and if you're feeling a little bit unwell, what do you do when you're feeling a little bit unwell?
You stay home and take care of yourself.
Absolutely. Drink lots of fluid, eat lovely food. So Marvie, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and every one of you out there, have a fabulous weekend, a safe weekend. MALO albito.